distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, staff and students of St. John's Anglican College. My name is Ruthie Forrest, and I've had the privilege of being one of the school captains for 2012. And what a year it has been. To stand here and sum up our school's journey in such a short time will have to be the biggest challenge yet. I'll start off by saying thank you to the St. John's community. Thank you for being part of this memorable journey with Lachlan and me. It all started from a single dream, that St. John's should be a home away from home. A place where everyone is accepting of each other, where differences are put aside and we welcome everyone as equals. We look for ways to show true servanthood, Jesus being a perfect example. And this led to our theme for the year, the bigger picture. Now, I could spend hours telling you about some of the wonderful things the students have achieved and how rewarding it's been to see how far the school has come. I want to share with you some of the highlights of the year. During first term, Lachlan and I really wanted to encourage everyone to look for the good in people. We wanted to encourage everyone to look for the good in people, especially with the arrival of new students. It is learning not to judge each other negatively based on first impressions. There's a status that floats around Facebook that goes along the lines of like for a like. Well, we took it one step further. For the day, the prefects pinned like buttons on their ties, and if any student came up and pressed the like button, they would receive a compliment. I remember Lachlan and I making a deal that would put it as our Facebook status that very night. I think most students had the same idea because the Facebook newsfeed was packed with all these beautiful compliments people had written to each other. Then there was True Colours Day, held in Term 2. On this day, everyone was invited to wear a colour of cloth that best represents their personality. Green for growth, blue for dream, yellow for service, and red for passion. We had one student come up on assembly to explain why she chose the green strip, symbolising growth. She mentioned how much she had grown as a person since moving from England, having to grow accustomed to a different country. But being at St. John's, she felt a sense of belonging. I couldn't help but smile at this. Because acceptance is something rarely achieved in many schools. But at St. John's, accepting others is something we strive for. This year, the International College moved to College Avenue, and the students integrated really well in the college community. It also was the first year an international student took part in a TAS sport. There was no them or us. Instead, there was a real bond between all students, no matter their background. Even with the younger grades, one of our friends, Tia, came up one lunchtime and asked if it was possible to develop an anti-bullying seminar aimed at the younger grades. She offered to write it up so that Lachlan and I could consider organising it. Everyone has an opportunity to show leadership, and Tia is a perfect example of this. She organised sessions with the Year 7s, 8s and 9s and invited students from Years 11 and 12 to talk to the younger grades about the consequences of and solutions for bullying. Just to hear the students open up and tell about their issues, or even in some cases to own up to mistakes, was a very powerful moment. I think the seniors walked away feeling more moved and changed. Of course, the pinnacle of the year was completing the Wiley Community Leaders Project. This project was a video production that incorporated many fundraising events, as well as a display of community spirit. And it is a pleasure to say that out of all the participating schools in Queensland, the St. John's project came second. So thank you for everyone who put that together. In all my years I have been attending St. John's, this year truly has been an unforgettable and humbling experience. I want to share with you something that my sister Rachel did for me at the beginning of the year. Every Monday morning, I'd wake up to find a letter under my bedroom door. I want to read to you one of my favourites. In fact, it was the very first letter she gave me. Dear Ruthie, now you are probably nervous and scared. This year will be a big test for you. You will have opportunities to demonstrate your leadership skills and other times where you simply must listen. But I have one goal for you, and that is to be yourself. Just remember who gave you this leadership position. God did. He believes that you'll do everything in your power to spread his light, through the way you act in difficult situations, to the way you treat people, and to how you perceive yourself. Remember, humility is your greatest friend. Learn from your mistakes and let it strengthen you. God is in control, and as Jeremiah says in the Bible, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. The advice that Rachel, even my family, friends, and teachers gave me has made all the difference. It's knowing that under whatever circumstance, God is by our side. And although everything happens for a reason, it might not always be for our benefit, but for the benefit of others. And I know a perfect example to illustrate this. Lachlan and I have had our fair share of embarrassing moments talking on assemblies. I would come home and tell the family over the dinner table about a word I pronounced incorrectly, or fumbled over, or how one of my jokes fell flat. Of course, I should have known that family members, well, mine in particular, failed to show any sympathy whatsoever. My situation simply escalated. Now I feared public speaking and any sort of public attention. I started a conversation with my friend, asking her if my mistakes on assembly were noticeable. She said, Ruthie, yes, your mistakes are very noticeable. But do you realize how reassuring that is to younger students? They look up to see how you react in those situations, and whether you pull yourself down and give in, or rise to the challenge and use it as an incentive to improve. You're giving them the confidence to overlook their troubles. I never thought of looking at it from that point of view, but if my mistakes are benefiting them, at least I can walk away knowing I've made some sort of contribution. It doesn't hide the fact that a part of me hoped after a year's worth of speeches I'd have it covered by now. But no, I'm still learning in all areas of schooling. St. John's has continuously offered every student opportunities to excel, whether on the sporting field, in music ensembles, or in academics. After attending so many conferences and functions hosted at other schools, Lachlan and I come away realizing how blessed we are to be at this school. At St. John's, we use our gifts and talents, not just for personal growth, but for the benefit of the school as a whole, building each other up as a team. 44 Year 12 and 11 students volunteered to donate blood to the Red Cross, an initiative organised by a fellow prefect. This is an example of how the students of St. John's do not excel within the college community alone, but also take every opportunity to help the wider community. Seniors of 2012 will walk out of here tonight into the world carrying something of St. John's in our heart. What is that, you may ask? I think the school's motto best sums it up: faith, service, and a future. St. John's, you have challenged each and every one of us to be innovative, creative, to reach our full potential and to be inspired, to step outside our comfort zone and to make every person feel valued and welcomed. It truly is a place for tomorrow's leaders. I want to leave you all with a quote from a man named Ralph Waldo. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. I wish St. John's every bit of success in the future years, and no doubt it will continue to flourish as the great school it is. I wish next year's leaders all the best for 2013. Although you will hold the mantle, I encourage all students to carve out a new path at St. John's and to do it together as a team. On behalf of the Year 12s, on behalf of the prefects, and on behalf of Lachlan, thank you and enjoy the rest of your night.